Very good morning, everyone. Myself, Dr. Dharmin from SIRT. Today, we are going to talk about decision making process. In that, particularly, the focus will be given to different phases. In this video, we'll talk about design phases and other different stages of decision making. So, in design phase, which is quite crucial, designing the decision making or complete a model. On the basis of that, we can go for decision making. So in this phase, we'll generate or develop a particular course of action or a model. On the basis of that, the whole process will continue. So generating, developing, and analyzing the possible course of action is all about design phase. It includes understanding the problem, testing solution for feasibility. Uh, for feasibility, we can say like finding out whether it is feasible or not. This decision is feasible, or this action, course of action is feasible for particular time, situation, and some conditions. A model is constructed, tested, and validated in this phase. Model means we will make a structure how that decision will be taken, steps, or you can say different research work will be done before we go for decision making system. Modeling, conceptualization of problem, as we are talking about like identification of problem, understanding of a problem. So concept, everything should be clearly defined and written, stated, and shared with the employees or top management. So in this phase, in this stage, the concepts or the problem and the basic reason for the decision making will be defined. Likewise, abstraction of quantitative and qualitative forms will be made. Mathematical model, identifying variables like on different basically different properties, different variables mean this different key roles of players which will affect on decision making process, finding or identifying the variables. For example, money, different resources, could be method, machine, material, or from where, how you are going to do it, right? Second one is establishing equation describing the relationship. Uh, you have to have a clear cut understanding and classification of different variables and because you are going to implement those decisions and we are going to use those variables. Simplification through assumptions. You can assume, you can predict, you can plan for that. Balance, model simplification, and accurate representation of reality. How it will be clearly defined, clearly written, and shared with everyone. That is called simplification and identification as assumption. So in the mathematical model, all variables should be identified, assumed, and presented accurately, and on the basis of that calculation will be done. Modeling is an art and science. How you take decision, how you make decision is an art. There's no strict policy rules or way for making decision. It's an approach, is a perception, is a method, is a behavior. That's why it's called art. And when we use some formula, some specific method, that will be science. We can use some quantitative modeling, topics as well, like model concepts, model structure, selection of principle of choice, developing and or generating alternatives, prediction, like how it will be measuring, and scenarios designing as well. So these are the things which we can consider also. Likewise, components of quantitative methods or model, decision variable, like variables mean what are the different components will be used or will be crucial for that decision making system. Uncontrollable variables as well, parameters which may play a vital role in decision making system. Results, final results we can predict as well. When we talk about mathematical model or different quantitative model, we can use some formula, some logic, for example fuzzy logic, for example machine learning methods, deep learning methods, theorems, algorithm for that. So on the basis of that, we can predict something. This, if we take this, this will happen, or this may happen. By using this mathematical model or quantitative method, we can go very close to the reality or the accuracy of a problem, of a solution. That's why we always insist nowadays to go for mathematical model or some using some IT model for finding solution of during decision making. Decision making under uncertainty. Assume complete knowledge variable. Like it's all assumption. How it could be, we can plan, we can assume, we can predict something. So what may happen, what could be happen. So some all possible options or situation or circumstances will be predicted and assumed in advance, typically for structured problem with short time horizon. Sometimes DSS approaches is needed for certainty situation. We can go for mathematical model if some conditions are like that, if the systems are defined. Likewise, decision making under risk analysis. As we know, there's always be risk included, is a part of a game, right? So we have to consider risk factors as well while going through the complete process. So probabilistic or stochastic decision situation should be considered. Must consider several possible outcomes for each alternatives, each with probability. Probability, possibility of a solution or outcome. Long run probability of occurrence should be calculated, assumed, predicted. Likewise, calculate the expected value of each alternative. As we are talking about mathematical model or quantitative model, so it is always good to use some formula of algorithm, some prediction methods, some software, some applications as well, to calculate expected value of each alternatives. The accuracy of, by using these softwares and these technology, we can go very close to the accuracy, sometime 99.9. We always talk about the proficiency and the efficiency of these softwares. Select the alternate with the best expected value. Next one is decision making under uncertainty. Several outcomes possible for each courses of action. What could happen? Certainty, more difficult, insufficient information. assessing the decision makers attitude towards risk. So these are the things which we have to consider while decision making system. Measuring outcomes as well. Goal attainment, maximizing profit, minimizing cost, and finally the customer satisfaction level should be measured. Finally, and one more thing, like maximizing quality or satisfaction rating as well. We can go for survey or some research as well. Choice phase, we can go for choice phase if we have some alternates, some options. The critical act in decision making system. Search, evaluate, and recommend an appropriate solution to the model in choice phase. As we are talking about DSS in my first lecture, DSS will provide you some options, some alternates, some possible solutions of a particular problem. So in the choice phase, you have to pick the best one, a specific set of values for the decision variables in a selective alternatives. We can say that the problem is considered solved only after the recommended solution to the model is successfully implemented. Some search approaches you can use for that as well. We already talked about some mathematical and quantitative methods. We can use some analytical techniques, algorithms, some softwares, some theorems for optimization of result. What will be the possibility and the probability of a particular solution and the success rate of a particular that decision could be identified, could be calculated scientifically by using technology. You can use some heuristic model as well. It's all about today. So we talk about some different models, mathematical and IT based methods for decision making. Thank you so much. Take care. Thanks.